thing while I'm taping this?
Well, no, I'm not going to tell you. I'll let this gentleman tell you.
Now, she says that she has a great sense of humor. Now, when she says it is the funniest thing in a long time, it must be fantastic. Now, don't feel any pressure here to give me a fantastic story, but just give it to me in about 10 words or less. The clock is ticking, young man.
Okay.
I'm losing my audience.
I collect laxatives. I have 2,000 of them at home, and I now is selling them at the Rose Bowl.
Okay, you have 2,000 laxatives.
Yeah.
Now, is that considered a lot of laxatives?
Yes.
Okay. Now,
and Running Steps is my nickname.
Running Steps. And so, so you are a laxative collector.
Yes.
And you have 2,000.
And I've tried to get in your magazine a couple times.
Well,
I never met you.
I'm not saying we have any standards, but if we did, we might have to draw the line at laxatives. But who knows? So she was telling me that you have an interesting story. Now, what is that story?
I like laxatives.
Well, that's not much of a story. You have a beginning, a setup, a punchline, and the whole thing.
But his
why don't you tell me the story?
Well, no, his nickname is what made me laugh.
Yeah, Running Steps.
Now, what inspired?
My boss at work.
Now, what inspired you to become a world-renowned laxative collector?
My boss was sick one day, and I was collecting copper.
You were collecting copper. Now, what kind of copper were you collecting? Oh, tin cans made out of copper.
And stuff that like soup bowls and anything made out of brass and copper.
Now, what does that relate to him being sick?
He said, why don't you go search for an antique laxative for me? I may get well and bring one back to me on Monday.
Now, why did he want an antique laxative?
Because I was antique. I went to all these malls and kept on.
Was he just trying to get rid of you or something? Because that seems like a rather peculiar thing to ask. Wouldn't he want like a non-expired one that might not
from
kill
the
him?
30s, yeah. I have.
Now, about what year was this that you went on this?
96.
Okay, so 1996.
Till the day. I just bought one from eBay yesterday.
Well, we don't mention eBay. eBay or the devil. We keep both of those out of the magazine. So anyhow, so that's how you began. And then, so what was one of the more interesting laxatives that you've come across?
Anolax.
Anolax.
Yeah.
Now, would you spell that? Because I want to make, we have a very fussy audience, and they want to make sure.
A-N-E. Yeah. It was an
why are you asking her? She's a teddy bear queen. Her knowledge of laxatives.
She does stuff like that.
Yeah, but you do. But we consider you the expert on this subject.
Okay.
Henceforth, whenever the subject,
and I do have dog laxatives.
Now, when they ask me about the laxative man, I will refer them to you.
Yeah. Would you like my real name?
Why don't you give it to me? We'll see how I like it.
Glenn Hendricks.
Glenn?
Glenn, G-L-E-N-N.
Oh, 2 N's.
Yes.
Seems a little repetitious.
And Hendricks.
like Jimi Hendrix.
But spelled different. H-E-N-D-R-I-C-K-S.
Boy, so do you get confused for him quite a bit? Because he used to have a supply of laxatives. So now, what do you, besides collecting laxatives, what else do you do?
I work for Sydney Valley Unified School District.
And are you the laxatives man there?
Yeah, all my laxatives are at school.
And what else do you do for them besides?
I run the print shop. I do all the tests, the PTA newsletters.
You run the print shop. Now, what sort of printing techniques are they using these days?
Xerox and Ricoh.
Xerox and Ricoh. Okay, so they are right up there. The 50s has nothing on them.
Right.
Now, are you an old letterpress guy? Did you originally learn how to do it with the letterpress, and then you?
And also, I was a lithographer for a while.
Now, what does lithography mean?
Yeah, shooting halftones, like pictures that you would put in your magazine before the computer. You would have to shoot it, and then I would put it in the camera and turn it into a dot pattern like the newspaper.
Now, how do they do that?
How do they do that?
We're an old school kind of a thing.
Okay, you take a picture and you put it in another camera, and then you put what they call a halftone screen in my camera, and it turns it into dots.
So you take the positive or a negative?
Negative.
Okay.
I take a positive and make a negative of the dot pattern. Then we burn a plate and put it on the press and run the job.
Okay, so you don't do that anymore.
No,
that's all totally gone. Yes. Now you just Xerox things.
Right.
What if they use the word Xerox? Because that's probably an antiquated word. what would you use, since you are doing this for a living? When someone wants something duplicated, what do you do?
I'm a copy.
So you make a copy of it?
I make copies.
Okay.